The protagonists of 2022's love tactics are back at it again, but this time, Asli and Kerem are already a loving couple. Asli now has her own fashion design company, while Kerem still works at the advertising agency along with his close friends Tuna and Amir. Love Tactics 2 begins with the two friend groups preparing for the upcoming marriage of Tuna and Kansu, the latter being very close to Asli. As the friends help the bride and groom pick outfits for the ceremony and with other pre-wedding chores, both Asli and Kerem cannot believe that their friends are getting married. Both of them feel bewildered by the fact that people are choosing to get married, even at these times when matrimonial bonds often break very easily and just cause more trouble. Asli still tries to question Kansu's decision and hopes that she might be able to change her best friend's mind, but to no avail. On the other side, Kerem questions Tuna's decision as well and wants Amir on his side too, but the third friend is already married and stays away from such discouragement. During such a time, Kerem and Asli meet and vent their frustrations about marriage to each other. Both seem to be on the same page until a final statement by Kerem really angers his girlfriend. While Asli had been complaining about the general problems of marriage, Kerem expressed comfort at the fact that he does not have to marry Asli ever. This enrages the woman, and she soon comes up with her first tactic to make Kerem agree to the marriage and propose to her. Kerem does not understand this at first and is only told by his friends that Asli must be playing a game of tactics against him. Now the man is livid at this, and he, in turn, starts his own tactics to convince Asli that getting married would be a truly horrible decision. The first tactic that Asli employs is to convince Kerem that she will never interfere in his life or say no to whatever he would like to do after marriage. According to Asli, men fear commitments like marriage mostly because they fear losing their freedom, and in order to assure Kerem otherwise, she starts acting like a docile wife. On the other hand, Kerem just wants to prove how miserable Asli's life would be as his wife, so he invites his friends over to his house one evening for a meeting. The meeting is just a ruse, and he keeps making demands of Asli to serve them tea, coffee, and other food. Asli is mentally prepared for all this, and she not only keeps serving all the demands but also prepares extra food for her boyfriend's friends. As both of their plans fail, both start to wonder whether Tuna and Kansu have ratted on them, but nothing like that has happened yet. Asli's next plan is to bring out the feelings of fatherhood in her boyfriend and also prove to Kerem that she can be a great mother despite not seeming to be so. Without a moment's hesitation, she gets hold of the baby son of Kansu's sister and takes him to Kerem's office. This is naturally quite strange for the man, for he knows very well that Asli is not fond of kids at all, and he understands that this might be part of her trick, so he plays along. Together, the couple struggles hard to tend to the baby's needs for half a day, and by the end, Asli herself cannot deal with the tantrums, let alone make Kerem want to be a father. Therefore, this plan also fails, and the two still keep trying to establish their perspectives on marriage over each other. The next plan for the tactic is made by Kerem, as he comes up with the idea of showing Asli how awful marriage can be. Looking for the perfect couple to prove his point, Kerem asks Amir about how his marriage of 2 years has been going, and he gets just the answer he had been hoping for. Amir had never introduced his wife Farid to either Kerem or Tuna, and he now reveals that they had been having a rough time in their marriage owing to some personal disagreements. Because of this, Amir and Farid fight with each other often, and Kerem wants to portray this as the very epitome of what marriage actually is. He convinces Tuna to bring his wife to a party at his house and also informs Asli about it. But on the other side, Asli had been planning a similar tactic, but in line with her beliefs, she wanted to present a perfect couple who still had incredible love and respect between them in order to prove to Kerem what a wonderful thing marriage is. For this, she invites her own parents, Kanan and Erku, to Kerem's house to meet him for the first time. However, this plan also miserably fails as Asli realizes that her father has completely changed suddenly. Because of his growing age, the man has now started to dress and act like someone much younger, wearing denim jackets and riding around in motorcycles and sports cars. Kanan has grown really frustrated because of her husband's sudden change, and she asks to end their marriage right in front of Asli and Kerem, setting a terrible example of the institution. While Love Tactics 2 had been lightheartedly tolerable till this stage, beyond now, it introduces extremely cliched plotlines to move towards an even more cliched and predictable ending. While the tactics are still ongoing between Asli and Kerem, a young man named Bulut comes into the scene, and he is a childhood friend of Asli and Kansu. It is also soon revealed that Farid and Bulut also dated for a short while during their college days. But it was actually Asli who Bulut had always been interested in, and he had expressed his feelings to her multiple times. It was only because Asli had rejected him that Bulut had dated Farid. Therefore, after learning all of this, Kerem now fears that these old emotions might resurface, especially since the women were going to celebrate Cansu's bachelorette party at a private island owned by Bulut. Kerem, Tuna, and Amir now reach the private island and tell their partners that they are here only to celebrate together. On the night of this party, Tuna and Cansu get drunk and tell each other about the tactics that Asli and Kerem have been using for so long. In turn, Tuna and Cansu both spilled the beans about the other to their respective friends, and finally, the protagonists realized that both had been plotting against each other. After a rather strange confrontation in the form of a tango dance performance, Kerem prepares a surprise for his girlfriend the next morning. As had happened in Love Tactic as well, the couple once again needs to be high up in the air, literally, to realize what they have been missing out on in their love lives. In this instance, Kerem hires a private plane to give them an aerial view of the islands and sea, which is unfortunately piloted by a man who directly admits that he has failed all pilot examinations. A whole lot of absurd foolishness later, the pilot lies unconscious on the floor of the plane, and Kerem has to safely maneuver it through a cloudy storm, even though he has never flown a plane before. It is at this moment that Kerem realizes how much he loves Asli and exactly how much she means to him. As he later admits, when fearing that the plane would crash, he was not as concerned for himself as he was for Asli. Although nothing like this happens and the characters all return to safety, the feelings and emotions that Kerem had felt stuck in his mind. These feelings suddenly were enough to make Kerem want to get married to Asli. Despite having her beside him forever as his girlfriend, he wanted to be something more to her and perhaps felt the need to be legally responsible for her. Therefore, Kerem soon proposes to Asli with a ring on his mother's piano, which Asli had first played in Love Tactics and made Kerem eternally fall in love with her. However, despite Kerem's proposal, there had been a different crisis going on in their personal lives. This was due to the fact that Bulut had offered a new job or business proposition to Asli, which would be rather beneficial for the woman's professional growth. However, the job made it mandatory that Asli go live in Dubai for 6 months, meaning that she would have to be away from Kerem. She had informed Kerem about this dilemma of hers even before he proposed, and when he did so, Asli obviously interpreted it differently. She believes that Kerem wanted to get married only so that she would not go to Dubai and instead be a docile wife to him. However, Kerem then successfully convinces her that this was absolutely not the case and admits that his timing for the proposal has been very wrong. Kerem states that he wants to genuinely spend the rest of his life with Asli because he loves her so much, and ultimately, the woman agrees. Love Tactics 2 ends with scenes from Kerem's and Asli's private wedding on a beach with their friends. Tuna and Cansu were also happily married by now, while Amir and Faride's marital life had now recovered too, with the couple soon about to have a baby. Along with such happy updates, Asli also reassures us, the viewers, that she obviously did not give up on the job opportunity in Dubai, and her husband visits her whenever he can. She also states how obviously her married life with Kerem is very happy and even more exciting than their lives as lovers, before reminding the audience that many among them can also get married in a similar fashion only if they want to and believe in their love. Thank you for joining us on this journey, and I hope you enjoyed the Love Tactics 2. We will meet in the next video.